I ended my college career with an acting class, and it's been the most insightful subject I've ever studied.
Today, we're gonna go over what happens in a basic college acting class and how everyone deep down is an actor. We're gonna go over how politicians and religious leaders use theatrical techniques and how ancient Sanskrit knowledge ties this all together. But first, let's watch a movie.
So? I can't believe this is happening.
I hope you would.
This is crazy.
No, it's not.
You're kidding.
I'm not.
It's too
what?
It's too fast.
No, it's not.
Where is this coming from?
There is no way you are that oblivious.
I see it, but
what?
I understand the consequences.
So do I.
You can live with that?
I can't.
You're very brave then.
Stop it.
No, you are.
I'm not trying to be brave.
It's not that simple.
It is. It's resolved.
Wow, resolved.
What do you want me to say? What's done is done. Right?
Not always.
So that's the theme?
Yes, that's the thing. Those 2 weeks of work was the culmination of a stupid amount of prep. The first 2 weeks we had to sharpen up our characters' motivations. The night before, my partner and I, Kiara, we spent hours just figuring out what our characters' backgrounds were.
So basically, we just agreed on our mindset. So first you're gonna be giggling about your last night, where you were cheating on me, and me, I'm very desperate because I really love you. I don't want you to leave me.
Next, you can't be forgetting your lines on stage, so I again spent hours memorizing my lines so I don't embarrass myself. I never thought this happened. This is crazy. You're kidding. This is crazy. It's too fast. And finally, I had to embody what I learned throughout the semester. I had to remember things like the repetition exercise. The repetition exercise forces you to get out of your own head and be more reactive and present to your partner in the moment. And it gets pretty personal because you pay attention to every small detail. For example, hello, partner. Hello. You're wearing a green windbreaker. No, you're wearing a green windbreaker. No, you're wearing a green windbreaker. No, you're wearing a green windbreaker. Your nose is pretty big. No, your nose is pretty big. No, your nose is pretty big. No, your nose is pretty big. Why are your eyebrows frowning? Why are your eyebrows frowning? Are you mad? Are you mad? You're pretty mad. Oops. The point was to show how I focused on small details and got a genuine response out of it. That made it more entertaining. But all of that was worth it. In the end,
We crushed it. That's great and all, but what even is good acting?
So those like major concepts like privacy and the kind of concept of moment-to-moment truth and working on a task or behavior, these are real basic elements, foundational elements of working in realism and tell stories that are, very similar to the way people really act in the world. And the goal here is that acting isn't necessarily about conveying an emotion or trying to entertain people. It's actually about committing to circumstances of what are circumstances. It would be setting, it would be different tasks or behaviors. It would be having a very deep understanding of your relationship with your partner and knowing what you want from them in the scene.
Okay, let's explore this a bit deeper.
public privacy gives you the space that when you're in front of people, you are in your own mindset, you have a task at hand, and you get to do it without worrying about how it looks to other people. Freshman year, I had to do a speech here, and I completely fumbled the bag. But now, even if there's people in the room, it doesn't matter what's happening, you have your task and you perform. Next, there's the reality of doing. Come into the act with an objective, so you focus on that instead of how you're supposed to look. For example, if I'm playing a role where I'm auditioning for something, so I want to come into the audition with a piece that I have in mind that I want to play. Then I lose myself in the task. That focus on the task itself gives you the space again to perform. Finally, there's a concept of moment-to-moment truth where you as an actor genuinely react to what's happening in the moment. As an actor, you can pull out new and interesting performances out of yourself based on the type of partner you're with. If they're soft and flexible, or if they're unexpectedly pointed and jagged, if they're off balance or just annoying to work with. It's your job to just react in the moment and get your authentic, genuine reaction. That's what builds a good performance. At this point, my more rational, logical-minded viewers might not be convinced by this liberal arts wishy-washy BS focus on the arts.
In reality, acting has immense value. This is what Marlon Brando says, the dude from Godfather 1 and 2.
We couldn't survive a second if we weren't able to act. Acting is a survival mechanism. It's a social unguent, and it's a lubricant. And we act to save our lives, actually, every day. People lie by not saying something that they think, or saying something that they don't think, or showing something that they don't feel.
We all have some role that we're playing. If you're a student, you have to act interested in what you're studying. If you go to work, you gotta kind of butter up your boss and make sure they feel powerful and in charge, even though you might think they're making mistakes. If you are getting a painting, you have to act interested in what you're painting, even if you don't care. If you're watching someone paint, or if you're in an art gallery, you have to be like, wow, that's so cool, even though you don't even understand what's happening.
Your mission as an actor, should you choose to accept, is to hone in on these individual stories and figure out those objectives. On a personal level, it allows you to empathize with them. You understand why they do the things that they do. But even on a selfish level, getting to this level of understanding, it's game over. Power is at your fingertips.
If you're interested in anything that requires some kind of people support, business, building businesses and startups, politics, and gaining some control over the world.
Even in medicine, you cannot escape theater. The crux of your med school app is literally your personal statement, your story of why you deserve med school over anyone else. You can't run from it, so might as well adopt it.
You need theater. You need to understand the art of storytelling and gaining and holding people's attention. And politics, that is the sweet spot of theater. Name one memorable historical figure who has not been an actor. Julius Caesar. He was an absolute theater fiend. Every time he went to war, he gave the devastating soliloquies that inspired a level of loyalty in his soldiers. He made himself seem larger than life at every opportunity, wore bright clothes that separated him from everyone else. He, as an actor, stood apart from everyone else on that political stage. More recent leaders.
Ronald Reagan.
Donald Trump. They started their career in TV and the public stage. They learned how to craft their persona to get the effect that they want in people, and they used it to humongous success in their political campaigns. There's a reason why they stood out. There's a reason why they excelled in TV and in the digital entertainment age when their other older counterparts failed to relate to people. We're in front of a chapel right now. Christianity is a perfect example of using theater and story to build power.
The parts of a performance include the stage, actors, and story. In Christianity, the stage, massive ginormous cathedrals with pointed arches, stained glass windows, iconic symbolism. The actors are priests and preachers. They have objectives to share the love of God and also to preserve their power. Their job is to literally give grand speeches to rile and influence their supporters. The story, well, there's an entire script called the Bible. People are evil, and God is here for their salvation. It clearly works. The Catholic Church is one of the strongest, richest, and most influential institutions in the world.
It's undeniable. Religion is a theater performance, whether you like it or not. So far, we've proven that acting goes way beyond just entertainment. There is a true purpose that you can achieve if you master the fundamentals of acting. But you might be asking me, Harsha, could you go more into depth about this relationship between purpose and entertainment? Because both sides are undeniable. Thankfully, we have the Natyashastra. The Natyashastra is an ancient body of Indian knowledge, literally called the rules of acting. And the Natyashastra focuses on the relationship between an actor and the audience. Recapping what we discussed before, right? A good actor has internal motivations that get him to feel an emotion. That is what the Sanskrit gurus refer to as the bhavas. These are emotions that the actor feels to achieve the overall goal of getting the audience to feel their end emotion. The audience's end emotion is called the rasa. This directly correlates to a politician wanting to get some kind of effect from their audience. If they want to influence or empathize with, that is what they're going for. There is a direct connection between the how and the why. The how is the Natyashastra teaches actors how they can practice their facial expressions to
communicate without needing to rely on words. This is directly applicable to real life, where our body language and microexpressions are more telling than what words we might utter. Comment down below what you think this actor is feeling and if you think it's an effective communication method. I'll let you know how close you are.
They teach you how you can use music to build up a level of suspense or build up a level of like love and laughter kind of feeling. They learn how to dance so you can communicate information without just pure words, but through metadata of your body. They also go into how to structure a story so it's interesting for the end audience, right? Even thinking in terms of politics, the whole Donald Trump cycle was so entertaining because there was constant drama. The drama, the story, starts with a setup, conflict, and resolution, and the Natyashastra goes deep into how you can structure that story into multiple acts. You can go into like a 7-act setup, a 11-act setup, depending on how epic you want the story to be. Again, this body of work goes so much deeper. It makes theater almost an entire science, and if you learn these rules, it's game over. So, acting is a function of honing in on an end state for your audience's emotional mindset, figuring out those internal objectives for yourself. Done correctly, theater can be applied beyond Broadway. It becomes a way of life. And the most important way of life is to like and subscribe.